Welcome back to Houston Newsmakers, as we have a very frank discussion about human and sex trafficking. How big is the problem? What can be done about it? Rachel Fisher continues to survive her personal experience. You talk about not being a survivor, but you continue to survive. What's the definition? Why do you make that definition?
Yeah, I always say that people are not survivors, they're surviving, because it's a daily process, it's a daily choice to not go back to the life, to not go back to what's comfortable. So you have to know that there are options and you have to start activating them. What's that first next step? Mm-hmm. You have to start with baby steps. So it's a process, it's a daily journey.
It takes a lot of strength at some point, doesn't it? And I was listening to Angela and listening to other people in the video. In your life, what was it, what do you have in common, those who are not in it anymore and not going back? What do you think the common denominator is amongst all of them?
Yeah, Angie's a dear friend of mine, and we both have a common theme that many survivors do, and then we have our faith. So whatever your faith is, I believe in God, so I'm a Christian. So my faith really brought me through it, that, you know, my pain was going to be used for purpose, and that my struggles are going to turn into a story. And so we both decided to take a bad situation that happened to us and use our voice to help others.
This whole process, the community is aware of it, obviously. There's collaborative efforts that go on, Children's Assessment Center, DA, police departments coming together there. You went with a group together. This was put by Children at Risk, which I thought was amazing. Right here in Houston, to go across the world to see what was going on in other parts of the world regarding human trafficking. What's the similarity with what's going on in other parts of the world that's also going on here?
Yeah, the similarity is, you know, poverty. It's a certain, because the problem is supply and demand, right? You have the supply is the victims who are being trafficked and exploited, and then you have the demand, the people who are buying sex, the people who are selling it. And so that is the same all around the world. And poverty and choices, a lack of choice, right? If you have not very many options and that's your only choice is to get into the life, is that really a choice, or is that just your only option? And then the lack of choice, if you're forced, using force, fraud, or coercion, if you're forced into it, it's not your choice at all anyway.
And go back to something we talked about, how sometimes people, even when they're given a choice, sometimes they make a choice that we would think, well, that's not the right one to make. But you made a great analogy, I thought, about the way that puppies get trained. Sometimes women who are in those environments, it's a similar kind of circumstance where they can't really leave.
Yeah, that's the biggest question is, well, why doesn't she just leave? It's a bad, scary situation. Can't she just leave? No, they can't. If you have a puppy, you're training it, you give it treats, it does something good. Great. Okay, you come home, have a bad day, you kick the puppy, you yell at the puppy, and later that puppy's going to come snuggle up to you and want love and more treats, and you're going to give it treats. But if you say, you know what, I'm not right for this puppy, I'm going to find a good family. You get that other family in the room and you say, okay, puppy, you have a choice. Go with this family who's going to give you the world, or stay with me. What is that puppy going to do? Go somewhere where they won't be abused? No, they're going to go back to what's comfortable and what they know. They're going to come right back to you because that's what they're comfortable with. It's the same scenario. If you're being, you know, the whole Stockholm syndrome, if you're in an abusive relationship, you stay there because you're in love with your abuser. They took care of you. Even though they were bad to you, there were still good moments. Mm-hmm. And so that's that trauma bonding that needs to get broken.
How does the program work with police? You know, you involved with police, you help them. What role do you play with them?
So I work with a lot of different organizations and police. They do a lot of operations. So we just, in the past couple years, passed legislation to make sex buying a felony, right? So that was huge. So they're doing a lot of John arrests. John is a reference for people who are buying sex. They used to arrest, you know, people who are prostitutes, which I don't like that term. People are either in prostitution or they're being prostituted. That's not their identity. They're not a prostitute. So they're doing a lot more work to actually end the demand as opposed to the supply, which are these girls in bad situations. So police have come a long way, and I do a lot of work with the district attorney's office and with trials and helping with victims that are going through that. But the community has really come a long way to really arm up against it.
We are going to do a Newsmakers Extra. We've got more to talk about, as you might imagine, about this topic. So I want you to go to clickthouston.com on our Newsmakers page. We'll continue this conversation. Before we go, though, your word to viewers here now about what they can do individually right now to make a difference in trying to stop human trafficking.
Yeah, everyone can do something, whatever your role is, whether it's in your industry, whether it's your passion. You know, don't start a new nonprofit. Nobody needs to start a new nonprofit. We have a ton of them. Find one that exists and build on that existing infrastructure to see how you can support the community. There's so much to do and so many people that still need your help. So find a local NGO to get involved with, go to your church, find out what you're doing, go to your industry, and just find out how can we help, because everyone can do something.
Rachel Fisher, thank you for sharing your story, your insight, and your passion for what we're talking about here. I want people to make sure that you go to their website address. What's your website address?
It's www.legalrnconsult.org.
Yeah, and I'm going to make sure that's on our website as well for you to be able to go to that. There are excerpts and the opportunity for you to get the documentary that includes Rachel and others. I highly recommend you watch it. It will be time well spent. You can get a link by going to the website.